Shalom, all praises to Yahweh, Bahasham Yahushai, Bahasham Ruach HaKodesh. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that rule well, laboring the word and doctrine. Shalom and peace. May that be to the elect of the nation of Israel. And the title is Endurance is Our Insurance. So it's just a little rhyme there to bring the point out, but it's not just a fruitless rhyme, there's a reason for it. So endurance, which if you go to the root word endure, E-N-D-U-R, which I've just done in the KJVA, it's not off the top of my head. Wish I could remember it like that. But I'll tell you there's 28 occurrences in the so-called New Testament, meaning the books from Matthew through Revelation. If you go into the true meaning of testament or covenant, if you go into the true meaning of testament, it is covenant, it is agreement. It's very similar to the concept of insurance we'll explore today, Lord willing. But obviously when we're speaking of New Testament, Old Testament, we tend to be speaking of those books. We tend to be speaking of what have been termed that, right? Although, the new covenant didn't begin in Matthew 1 and 1. Anyway, that being said, right, so endurance is our insurance. So we're going to first go into, what does the word insurance mean etymologically? Tree is a word of the day for today. And then we'll explore this concepts around concepts of this word, and then hit the scriptures all the way. Right, so the word insurance, and we're on etymonline.com, etym online. Etymology, etymos, meaning truth, study. Oh no, it really means truth. Etymon, I think it is, means truth. And then logos means word. By extension, the implication is study. So the truth behind words, and it's very important, especially those that are attempting to grasp some knowledge on what we're reading. If we believe we are the people of the book, then this is not our land, depending on where you've been scattered. There will be Israelites in the land, very few of us sprinkling, just by a matter of being scattered among all the earth. However, the grand majority have been displaced from our homeland, and that is the whole idea of redemption. That is the whole idea of salvation, and that is the idea of the kingdom of Yahweh, Hashem Yahushai, being set up on earth, Israel being re-established in our land, with our king, under our law, perfectly. Right, this is that's our marriage, right? That is our I had another thing to link it to, but that is our marriage, right? That being said, insurance, right? It says engagement to marry. Now, if we know about the wedding, the idea of a wedding, the 5 wise, 5 foolish virgins, going forth to meet Yahushai HaMashiach as a wife, right? A chaste virgin. Apostle Paul speaks that he wants to present us as a chaste virgin to HaMashiach. I believe that's 2 Corinthians 11, and around the 2nd verse. The Lord requires us, the Heavenly Father requires us to be remarried to righteousness through Yahushai. Right, the Lord referred to himself as our husband. Right, read Isaiah 54:5 or Isaiah 45:4. One of them says that the Lord is our husband, the other one says he has surnamed us. Understanding the connotation of being surnamed is it's the marker of property, it's the marker of possession put upon one, and when you go back to it, that is what it represents in marriage. Right, the woman being ridded of her father's name, right? Not that her descent is no longer considered, but then it denotes a possession of property, a changing of ownership, right? And in modern terms, modern understanding of marriage, this is sort of looked over or sanitized. Not that it's a dirty thing, it's clean in the eyes of the Lord, but it's sanitized, it's made prettified, because this is an inappropriate concept to the culture of the world today. But true marriage, when we talk about biblical marriage, is not a ceremony, it is the act of sex. Right, read Genesis 24 and verse 67, and that's why it says in one of those aforementioned Isaiah verses, either 45 and 4 or 54 and 5, it talks about how the Lord has surnamed us, though thou hast not known me, he says unto Israel. I have surnamed thee, though thou hast not known me. And if you go into the first couple of chapters, I've been watching too many seasons. If you go into the first couple of chapters, so chapter 4, it talks about how Adam had children, and when he went unto his wife, right, which wife and woman are also interchangeable in the Hebrew, to touch on that concept of Hebraic marriage. So a woman that's, belongs to a man is a wife, but the same word. Anyway, it says Adam went unto Eve, his wife. He knew his wife, Eve, and she conceived and got a son. So that word yadai in the Hebrew, yes, it can mean to know, just straight up, have you heard of this? Yeah, I know of it. I know of this concept. Yeah, it can mean that, but a lot of the time it is used sexually, right? So Adam knew his wife and she conceived. He didn't mean, alright, he met her. He said, oh, you alright? What's your name? She said, my name's Eve. He says, my name's Adam. And now they know each other. And all of a sudden, a baby just pop up. Some people will read it like that. They want to mystify the literal, spiritualize the literal, and then, make plain the mysteries. Not make plain, but make it, make it more of a literal when it's an allegoric verse. But this is why you need guidance, this is why you need leaders, teachers, apostles, prophets, all them things. Why? For the perfecting of the saints, right? For the edifying, the building up of the ministry. That's why the Lord set it out as so. Back to this word insurance on ETYM online. Insurance, engagement to marry, a variant of insurance, and assurance, pledge, guarantee. So biblically, with the prerequisite, meaning the requirement prior, the requirement before, the prerequisite is to be of the elect, of course, as we should know by now. But we are insured, we are assured, we are pledged, we are guaranteed that salvation, that redemption, if we are to endure, right? He that endureth unto the end, the same shall be saved. It's written for a reason. So say it again, endurance is our insurance. Without it, it's all good. Running your 90 meters, if you stop there, you're out of breath, brother. You're not getting nothing. You're not getting a medal. You're not getting even a finish time. You're not getting a participation trophy. So the same goes for this race, right? Apostle Paul called this a race, 1 Corinthians the 9th chapter. So if in the world, people do it for a corruptible crown, we're chasing that incorruptible. The Lord is not going to be, letting you cut corners, right? The Lord is not a man of dishonor. He's not a man of respect to persons. He's not a man of saying something and not having it done, right? It tells you in Isaiah the 55th chapter that whatever the Lord send his word out to do, it shall accomplish. It will not return back unto him again void. So anything he says, anything he purposes, anything he promises, it will get done. So we are promised salvation upon the prerequisite of being of the elect and enduring until the end. Alright, that's a key part of this truth, man. getting sloppy and tired and going, you know what, I might just become a Muslim, I might just become a Hindu, you know, I might become a Buddhist, because those people, you know, they have this, they have that, this looks fun, I sort of like how they think here, You are more than entitled in this day and age to believe, think, feel as you wish, but you are not entitled to salvation biblically by carrying out these routes. And that's the whole thing, that's the ensnarement of the adversary, of Hashatan. The idea that, yeah, you can do whatever you want, you know, and what's the key word from that serpent? Ye shall not surely die. Right, you can do whatever you wish, but if you deviate from the path of uprightness, the path of righteousness, the path of light, you shall surely die. Right, that's a big difference. Big difference. Especially even these so-called, seemingly so-called biblically based organizations, groups. They will tell you these things, that you should do this, you should believe on Jesus. They won't tell you to depart from the ways that do not, you know, please the Lord. They tell you to, you know, just keep doing what you're doing. You know, they'll tell you endurance is your insurance, but you can endure in anything, right? The endurance here is very key. Enduring in the doctrine, in the truth, in the ways of Yahawashi HaMashiach, right? That's most important. It says form of insurance, assurance from insurer, and to make sure, safe, secure, undoubted. Right? Undoubted. Not doubtful, Thomas. We're undoubted. You know, providing we be of the elect, we're aware that Yahawashi is a worthy sacrifice. Right? You may be able to acknowledge that as not the elect. I'm saying, if we're of the elect, we acknowledge Yahawashi is a worthy sacrifice for us, and he shall be. Alright, he shall be for the elect. But only the elect will profit. For some, you know, they cast that worthy sacrifice as something like unto dirt. Right, trod it under their feet. And for them, you know, there's no saving some people. Put it like that. Right, so it says commercial sense of security against loss or death in exchange for payment is from the 1650s. Right, so our endurance is security against loss. Right, so if you're enduring, you're securing, you're making sure you're not losing it. Right, if you got it, you don't use it, you must lose it. See what happened when they were taught to gain by trading, and some of them said, well, good master, I see the pound you have, and I know you're an austere man, so I did exactly what you told me not to do, and I didn't trade with it. I put it in a napkin, and here it is, kept it safe. That's not it. That's not the way to do it. You know, you gain by trading, you take that pound, and you develop, you level up, brother. You know, you can't just leave it there. You cannot just leave it there. So, endurance is our insurance. Matthew, the 10th chapter, verse 22, and you shall be hated of all men for my name's sake, but he that endureth to the end shall be saved. And you will be a damn fool to step in this thing and never try deviate from thence. You know, I'm not talking about slipping up. I'm talking about intentionally saying, you know what, I no longer want a part of this. You know, because everyone does make mistakes. You know, and when we're in this flesh, it's not an excuse, but it's the reality of the matter that you're not going to be, you know, Yahawashi. You're not going to be without any, you know, slip-ups. That's not to get caught up on. It's not to beat yourself down to the point you don't try, and it's not to get proud to the point that, well, I'm sinning because everyone sins. You attempt to minimize it. You know, we die daily, every day. We try, strive. And that's the point. But you know, if you come into this, you leave, you'll be worse than if you'd never heard this. You know, you can read that in Peter, you can have a look for that. Right, Matthew 24:13. But he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved. Right, and that's that penny that we're all working towards as labourers. That penny is the kingdom. So salvation is the goal. Right, we're given the blueprint in the red letter and zoom in on the blue letter. We're given that. So endurance is our insurance. We maintain, abide in the doctrine of love, of life, of light. Right, that doctrine of Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, and the elect that endure shall be saved. Right, pray it was edifying, exalting. Next video, Lord willing. Shalom.